Hello students, in this video we will learn to write a C++ program to print the details of an item using class concept. As we have used header files in C programming, we also need few of the header files for C++ programming. The basic function, the basic work that we do with the program is to print the values over the screen or to receive the values from the keyboard. That means input and output functions are common for all the program. For that we need iostream.h header file. In C we have used stdio.h. Again we need conio.h header file for clear screen and getch functions. So initially I have added these two. After this, I need a class item, right? Because the program itself is to print the details of an item. So I have gone for the item name itself for the class. I am going to print the number, item number and the item cost. So it is mentioned only like details of the item. So you can choose any of the details, like you can also include the quality of the item or anything you want, right? And these data members are not labeled as a private or public, but by default they are private to the item class. After this I have used public label, which means that whatever you have written after the public label, everything is public. That means it can be accessible to the outside world outside the item class. The getData function is to collect the values from main function. This is needed as we have the main function outside the class. The class ends here itself and the main function is outside the class. Is it not? So getData function collects the information from main function and passes them to number and cost. This is needed because our getData function is a member of class item which only has number and cost as the data members. The member functions can only work with the data members within the class. It doesn't know any value passed from the external world. That's why we need to copy the values passed down to this getData to cost and number. So after this we will be using putData function to print the values of number and cost. Since number and cost are available within the class itself, we need not create any object to access these data members. So it directly prints the value, number and cost. You must be noticing we are not having printf functions here. Instead of that, we have cout functions available in iostream.h. Cout function also accepts only the string values. Okay. So the string statements have to be written within the double quote. The statement within the double quote will be printed as it is there in the program. After this we have the angular brackets, extracts the data from the program and prints over the screen. Okay, you must be noticing there is no %d kind of field specifiers. We can directly mention the variable names. Whatever there within the double quote will be printed as it is, and the words which are not enclosed within the double quote will be used to extract the values stored in them and printed over the console. After this, you can use a new line operator like this. You can concatenate a new line operator so that your next statement will be printed from the second line. It is not appended to the first line itself. You can also go for indel word. It also performs the same work as that of the new line character. So now I have the whole class ready. The next task is to call these functions from the main function. So I have written clear screen After this, I created an object of item class. It is the syntax of creating a new object. First word is class name, second word is the object name. The classes are also called as user defined data type. That is why you can use the class name wherever the predefined data types are used. The predefined data types are int, float, short, double, all that you know. Once the object is created, the main function uses this name to call the functions within the class. Right? So for that we need a dot operator. Object name dot function name. This getData function expecting two values, isn't it? A and B. The first data should be in integer, the second data should be in float, because the data members we have in our class are int and float. So once object1.getData is called, the control moves to getData function. It starts executing from here. It copies the value of A, that is 100, to number, and value of B, that is 200.5 is copied to cost. Now our number and cost data members have some values stored in them. So main function calls the putData function to print these values. See, as I have told, it doesn't need any object name to refer this number and cost. Why? Because putData function is a member of class item, which is having number and cost as data members. We will see whether these values are printed correctly. We will see how this program actually flows. I go on pressing F8. Void main is the first statement executed in the program. Clear screen. It clears the screen. After this, object1.getData is called. So the control moves to getData function within the item class. So it executes all the statements within getData and switches back to main function. So the next statement in the main function is to call the putData function. It calls the putData and prints the number and prints the cost and exits. Next, the next statement in the main is getCH. Now our screen will be visible. Next, the curly brace which closes the main function. It is the end of the program. Right? So at any given moment of time, if you want to visit the console, that is the black screen, you can switch back to Alt F5. Okay. This is the end of our first program. You can also change this program to read the values from user. So you have given constant values 10 and 200.5 here itself. But you can use cin statements. These are the alternative to scanf functions in C. You can use those statements and prompt the user to input the values also. Okay? That we can see in the forthcoming sessions. Thank you.